The more you hear about AI, the more you're going to hear about UBI. And what is UBI? It's universal basic income. This is the idea that the tech CEOs and the billionaires are presenting to us as a remedy or solution for the problem they're causing. Now, before we get started, my name is Sean. I have a background in tech. I used to design and build autonomous robotic devices for the military, and I've had my own software company for the last 23 years. And on this channel, I deal with AI and AI's effect on humanity. And I don't always speak really fast because I don't work off a script. Everything you hear is what I'm thinking. I'm having a conversation with you. So let's get started. Now, when I was sleeping last night, I was very troubled. I finally went into some restless sleep, and then I woke up this morning, and I must have between 30 and 50 topics on AI that I need to get out to you guys. But I was going over these in my head, and this one came to me, just filled my brain to where I just have to get this out to you guys. So here goes. UBI, Universal Basic Income, isn't what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how they're going to pay everybody. That is way, way worse. What they're talking about, if you guys seen other videos, you see Sam Altman talking. He's the one who runs OpenAI, which does ChatGPT. They talk about UBI, Universal Basic Income, being paid not in dollars, not in pounds, not in euros, but in tokens. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is totally messed up and almost evil. So, let me give you a brief history of tokens. Tokens have been used since very, very early on. Even ancient Romans used them for theater, food, political favors. And medieval times, there used to be tokens that you could turn in for at a tavern. You get a drink there. Tokens were generally used to bypass the traditional government money or the currency. So most of you guys have used tokens, and most of you, like me, have them laying around. In fact, I looked on my desk, and I've got a token right here. This one here says Castle Golf. This is Castle Golf down in Phoenix. And this is representative of what they're going to pay us in AI when AI takes over. But I'm going to explain why AI tokens are way worse than this. Now, one other thing that the tokens, I just want you to understand these things. I got this token from Castle Golf, but I can't go down to the grocery store and spend this. I have to go back to Castle Golf and put this in the arcade machine. And by now, this is probably expired. It's all gone digital now instead of these coins. So tokens have been around a long time, and I'm just going to cut to the chase right now. They're bad. They're good for the company. They're bad for the people. During the Industrial Revolution, company towns used to pay their workers in tokens. And guess where these tokens were only good for? The company store. This way, these companies, they not only paid the workers with these tokens, but they also ran the store. And the store was sure to get paid. So the people couldn't go to a store in a neighboring town or somewhere else and use these tokens. These tokens had to be used at that store. This is very similar to what is going to happen with AI tokens. Now, just to give you an idea how many tokens throughout history there were, I looked in my bookshelf. I love collecting coins and stuff like that, so I've got a lot of books. I've got a book right here called New Mexico Trade Tokens, and it just blows your mind at the pages and pages and pages of tokens that are for casinos, gambling halls, parlors, food, general stores, and things like that. I mean, these things, there are just, this is just New Mexico alone. The problem with tokens is you have no freedom whatsoever on where you can use them. They are specifically for the place. And sometimes the place will go out of business, and sometimes they won't accept their own tokens anymore. So they're problematic. Now, the other thing that modern people have seen tokens in is video games. It's ironic that they want to pay us in tokens for AI, but people have been getting these in video games. And the way you get that is you move through the levels of the video game and you can receive tokens on the way. Everybody knows this who plays video games. You get tokens within that. Now, these tokens are digital, but what I'm about to talk to you about is we're literally about to be paid in these kind of things. So right now, the modern equivalent of tokens is cryptocurrency. But I want to make it real clear to you guys. You understand this. Cryptocurrency as it is not where this is going to go. The way this is going to work is that there is going to be a system of tokens created. And these tokens are not going to be like cryptocurrency where they're decentralized. What decentralized is no one government or bank or whatever controls them. But see, I debate that as well. But that's for another subject. The tokens they're looking to pay people for UBI are going to be programmable. Now, backing up to where they're talking about UBI, they're talking about paying everybody on Earth because they understand that this AI development, I know right now LLMs are not completely living up to the hype, but yet this whole technology is pushing forward. Whether you know there's a bubble coming or not, even after the bubble bursts, this is going forward. We're all headed this way. We're all on this crap train. So universal basic income are these elites' responses to, we know we're going to hurt humanity. We're going to cause a lot of job loss. And some of them are even talking like, oh, it's going to be great because AI is going to do everything for you. You just won't have to work as much. You'll have to work less hours, and some people won't have to work at all. But they also understand that people can't just not do anything. So they're floating either paying everybody on Earth in tokens or giving them some kind of ownership in AI. But what's weird about that is, what ownership in what AI? Which company? Now, I predict in the future, it's all going to monopolize into one. But in the meanwhile, we've got all these competing AI companies, and they know that this is going to be, even within the next 2 years, almost catastrophic to the workforce. If you guys watch other videos, watch these guys speaking with their own words. Now, what's weird is I've worked with a lot of these people, and they're just nerdy, geeky people. I was one of them. But when you put them in a position of power, they don't always have the best intentions. I think they get almost narcissistic and godlike. And there's so few of them making these decisions for everybody that You guys need to know what's going on. So now let's get back to how are they going to pay everybody? They're talking about a universal system globally called tokens. And it's actually a really well-named thing because, as you can see, throughout human history, tokens really end up ripping the person off. You pay into something at somewhere, or you work hard, you get paid in tokens. Now you're forced to use the token somewhere. But the digital tokens that they're looking to pay us are way, way, way worse than these old coin tokens. Let me explain why. So, what they can program into these is exactly where you spend the money. When you're paid in tokens, they can actually determine and limit where you can spend the tokens. The other things that can happen is they will track the tokens. So as you go to spend a token, they know where. They know your spending habits. They know everything. Every token that is used is tracked. And then if you combine it with AI, they're going to do another thing that is really disturbing. They're going to attach a social credit score to these tokens they're paying you. So if you step out of line, then you could end up having your tokens suspended, restricted, or whatever they want to do. The other thing that's really terrible is the tokens can be instantly devalued, capped, or set to expire. They don't need to promise you that these things are of value. So this puts all of us on the hook for their rules. That is why the AI tokens are really terrible compared to the past ones. The past ones were bad. But the new ones, just think of them as monitoring you. And so when you go to buy food, they can even determine what kind of food you buy. If they decide people should not be eating meat, they can have the token completely ban the person from buying meat. If they want, they can force you to buy from them. Some of these AI CEOs were even talking about something really demented. And that is, they really feel like, I've talked about this in other videos, the thing called compute. All of these beast centers these beast buildings that are being built around the world right now, they're going up by the hundreds and thousands. And those are the places where the AI gives you the answers. And they're building this in a city and an area near you. They're going up everywhere. And the environmentalists, national movements are very silent on this. This is a very orchestrated thing. But in the beast buildings, they have to have a power plant. And so these buildings that have these GPUs that return an answer for you when you ask a chatbot a question, there's a thing called compute. It's the energy used to do a calculation. And so these tech billionaires are saying, well, that's going to cost money. And so what they're talking about is the average person, if they want to get ahead, they can pay us in tokens. So they're talking about issuing the tokens, and then they're talking about the average person can pay in tokens to them for getting compute, which gives you the ability to ask it questions or maybe run a business or something like that. But everything is going to be tied together in the future. Even if you have a small mom and pop shop, if they have their way, you won't have traditional government money to work with. you will have a digital form. Now, if I get the word out too much about this, or others do, about tokens, think about what they always do this. Anytime some word gets a bad rap, all they simply do is rename it. So when they go to release this, it may not be called tokens if we're all talking tokens are bad. They'll name it some kind of really pleasant term. But make no mistake, this is what it is. This is the basic of it. I'm really glad they used the word token, because there is nothing more representative than the word token. I mean, this is basically fake money. The only place you can use it is at the place that is on this. And so the small mom and pop shop is going to be forced to take tokens. And if they're misbehaving, or they're not doing something right, let's say they're selling something that is not deemed proper or acceptable by the elite, then nobody will be able to spend at their store. This is to control everybody, because everybody needs to eat, everybody needs shelter. They can control every single thing with that. And they can basically program each and every one of the tokens that you receive to behave in a certain way. So there you have it. I'll let you know about tokens. Pass this information on to a friend. I'm doing this YouTube channel as a mission. It's really not my job. I have a software company, but I've gone through so much in my life right now. I've had major loss, major tragedy. And sometimes people ask, how are you still standing? And some days I get up and I'm like, man, life is hard. Life is hard when you have all kinds of people just taken out of your life and they're gone. They're dead. But here I am. I get up. I think of all of you guys. I see what's happening. I need to get the word out. And be sure to watch some of my other videos, because I have other great information. I want people, instead of just taking my word for everything, I want you guys to ask questions. I need everybody to start asking more questions. It's just like the beast buildings I was talking about. They're going up everywhere. And normally power plants would take sometimes decades to build, and they're building them fast right now. The politicians and the big companies are just moving this stuff ahead at full speed. You don't have to look far to see one of the beast buildings going up. And they're paying off the environmental groups to be quiet. And the way they pay them off is they give them large donations. And then the AI places, or the big tech, they get to say in their brochure, we support the environment. We support environmental causes. How is that supporting environmental causes when you're paying them to shut up? So watch some of my other videos. I have a lot more for you guys. You guys are not going to believe some of this stuff, but it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing how quickly the world is changing. And yeah, just pass the word out. Spread the word. Spread the word. So anyway, that's it for this video. Remember, for everything we gain, there is something lost. So, catch you later. Bye.